What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, I saw this interview with Bob Arum. Bob Arum said that the WBC is about to mandate Tyson Fury versus Andy Ruiz sometime in the summer. And people was, speculating like what's going on with Anthony Joshua because he said that he had some, big news or something like that coming soon, and then Eddie Hearn said there's no news, and then all of a sudden now he's not fighting until December. So I didn't really want to make a video, and that's something that I was asked about. What do I think about what's going on with Anthony Joshua? Now, there's different ways we could go with that, and I really don't want to have to speculate, but let me say this. So, I'm looking at the simple fact Andy Ruiz fought a title eliminator. 2 to be exact. Deontay Wilder fought a title eliminator. Again, it's worthless. People will say, yeah, but Andy Ruiz is getting the title. He's getting a title shot. Yeah, but here's the reality. You don't play the NFC and AFC championship and then skip the Super Bowl. It's simple. You have to play those games first. So you don't skip the AFC championship game and skip to the Super Bowl. What I meant to say. This is what I'm saying. So basically, you give Andy Ruiz Chris Arreola, then you give him Luis Ortiz. You give Deontay Wilder, what's the bald guy? Robert Helenius. So their fight just not going to happen. If that it's true that Andy Ruiz is going to fight against Tyson Fury, look, this is a fucking mismatch. Andy Ruiz has no footwork. He's too damn small, too short. He not small physically, but in height. And he doesn't know how to cut the ring. This will be an easy fucking fight for Tyson Fury. Now, can't take it away from Tyson Fury if the fight does happen, because, hey, Andy Ruiz is a fucking fighter, right? So it is what it is. Now, that being said, though, right? What's the purpose of having a title eliminator if these guys are not going to fight? So then, you look and it's like, okay, I don't understand this, right? Because they were supposed to remember they made the announcement, not officially, but there was a lot of talk about the WBC to mandate Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz. Well, check this out. If you look at the WBC rankings, you guys remember like several videos ago when we were looking at these rankings, right? You see how people are there that don't belong there. Okay? But now if you look, Anthony Joshua is ranked in the top 5 on all sanctioning bodies now. Now check this out. With the WBC, who's ranked number 1? Deontay Wilder. Who's number 2? Andy Ruiz. Who's number 3? Anthony Joshua. Now, I don't care to see Wilder versus Fury 4. But do you think that Mauricio Sulaiman and those guys are thinking that way? So why is Tyson Fury not fighting, say, the number 1 contender? Why the number 2 contender, right? Well, it could be that soon, and nothing in boxing is etched in stone until it's actually said and done and etched in stone. We don't know. We can't even go by what we hear. But could be that they're going to so-called mandate Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. And really, this may be the only way to even make this fight happen, because for some reason, the fight, I'm not even, well, we know all what was said and back and forth. I'm not even digging back into that. So for Anthony Joshua to fight in December, right? Look, let's look at it this way, okay? If that fight is going to happen, well, it's not just Anthony Joshua, but Deontay Wilder. They both want to be as sharp as possible, right? Do you hear any opponents for Deontay Wilder? Do you hear them talking about a potential fight coming up? No. All you heard was rumor that it was being mandated between him and Andy Ruiz. Nope. Never happened. Look at Joe Joyce. He's getting ready to fight Zhilei Zhang. It really should be Joe Joyce versus Andy Ruiz, to be honest with you. That's the fight that should be. Or Joe Joyce versus Deontay Wilder, or Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder. Nonetheless, and that's what's happening. Okay? How the hell does Daniel Dubois, even though that belt doesn't mean anything that he has, but how does he wind up getting that belt? Just look at what's going on. These guys are pushing Joe Joyce aside. Okay? So, to try to make this fight, I'm not against the Zhilei Zhang fight. It'll keep him busy, and these guys both come forward. They're both big guys, heavy guys that like to come and throw bombs. So, it should be an entertaining fight. Okay? So, you hear Joe Joyce saying, Anthony Joshua ducked Zhilei Zhang. He didn't duck Zhilei Zhang. Zhilei Zhang name, it was a couple of people names that they came up with. They was, whatever they had in mind at the time, and it just didn't fall through. It was nothing that actually happened. But let's understand something too, okay? There's no point in bringing Derek James in and then just rush Anthony Joshua to the ring to fight whoever just because. Okay? Derek James, he's working with Charlo. He's working with Spence. And he's working with Frank Martin. So for him to have those three in his stable, he needs to be able to make sure he's giving Anthony Joshua ample time as well. And just to put him in there and say, okay, let's see, this guy, let's work on a strategy for him. It's more than that. Okay? And as you can see with Anthony Joshua, he needs instructions every round. He doesn't really know how to switch up on his own. He doesn't have the confidence in, I remember when he was asked about the game plan when he fought Usyk the first time, and he said, you have to ask my team. Right? You have to ask my team. I don't know. Like he had none of the blame. Hey man, you're in there. You got to think outside the box. He doesn't understand how to do that. And I get the feeling listening to Derek James talk that that's what he's trying to get Anthony Joshua to understand what he needs to do, to know how to read things. You know how a football team read defense and offense? To understand what's going on and what he should be doing. Anthony Joshua doesn't show that. Okay, he did it before. And there's times before when he would throw punches and kind of stand there and like wait for something to happen, and Mike, would get a little repetitive with his combinations and stuff, but when the fight went a distance. But it's like I said, it's not just to prepare him from fight to fight to where, okay, let's just prepare you for this style. No, he needs to understand that he's absorbing all of these things. The best players, the best fighters, okay, in any sport, the best players, in any combat sport, the best fighters are the ones who understand what they should be doing, not just solely relying on what the cornerman is saying to them. And that's what Anthony Joshua does, because he just doesn't, he's not there yet to where, okay, I get it, I know what I should be doing. Understand something, because people was making a big thing about it, but if Eddie Hearn says something different from what Anthony Joshua said, then they'd be complaining about that. Oh, something's wrong because AJ said this and Hearn said that. Yeah. AJ said one thing, and then Eddie Hearn, after the fight was announced that it was announced that he'd fight in December, there's nothing to talk about, right? Nothing, no news to tell. Just leave it alone. That's all. Let it go. It's nothing. So now we know he's fighting in December. Against who? Don't know. No, but it is what it is. Get over it. There's nothing big, man. I was also asked, did I hear anything about Andy Ruiz getting divorced or something? No, I didn't, and I don't care to know. I don't do domestic stuff. What I will say is, real simple, again, that's not boxing news. That's news of a boxer. I don't know where that came from or whatever, but I'm not interested in stuff like that. What I will say, for Andy Ruiz, any fighter, is that whatever's going on, you got to get their personal life in order to get things intact, because jumping in that ring too soon, you're not, nobody's going to care about the excuse or what happened or the reason, and all they're going to pretty much know is that you lost. You didn't look that good or whatever it may be. So, that's personal stuff, and people, they have to work through their problems, and things, things happen. That can happen to me, it could happen to you, it could be anybody. So I don't like digging into people personal life. I don't care even if it's up for everybody to see or something. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that, but I was asked, so wherever that came from, I have no interest in that. But that's your foundation, your family. That's what's more important. When your boxing career is over, these fans, they don't embrace you to say it's not the same thing. They're just going to look for the next person to cheer for. But I would always, family. That's what's important, man, more than anything. So, I don't know. I'm not interested in that. But as far as the Anthony Joshua situation, it doesn't have to be any controversy, man. People just make videos and just start stirring the pot, trying to make up a bunch of nonsense, and it's not a big deal, man. Why is that a big deal? When we had a guy like Tyson Fury playing games and making up lies, Bob Arum making up lies, Frank Warren making up lies, and people was trying to, that's just Fury being Fury. Whatever plans they had, things that they were trying to make happen, whatever change they came across, hey, simple. And like I said, Derek James has a job to do. Everybody is saying, and have the understanding that Anthony Joshua is a work in progress, right? Okay, so this is his reset, his rebuilding stage. What sense does it make, like I said, just because you bring a new trainer in? What is everybody saying? Oh, but he's only been with him for a short time. It's going to take time. Okay, so let him take his time with Derek James so he can become that Anthony Joshua that everybody wants to see. And the thing is, it's not so, if he can, hey, if anything, I hope he's better than what he used to be. We'll see. But yeah, everything is not a controversy, man. Everything is not some juicy gossip. Something's happening between Anthony Joshua's camp. Based on what? A freaking change of plans? It's like, what's... It's no conspiracy, man. So if him and Wilder's going to fight, this is a fight that's long overdue. There's certain fights that's long overdue. And think about it. Anthony Joshua, here's the funny thing. He beat Andy Ruiz with that same style he beat Franklin with. But he moved a lot less against Franklin. Okay? So, he already beat Ruiz. Okay? Ruiz beat him, then he beat Ruiz. We already seen Deontay Wilder versus, Fury. 3 goddamn long-ass times. We haven't had Anthony Joshua versus Wilder. We haven't had Wilder versus, Andy Ruiz or Joe Joyce. We haven't had Joe Joyce and Joshua. Just saying. But, again, this is like hand-picking, any, meeny, miny, mo type stuff, man. I told you guys, there's no order in boxing, man. There's no structure to this shit. It's just whatever they think people are going to be interested in, whatever they think is going to pull the most money in, whatever champion they need to protect for the time being. Again, this is a piece of cake for Fury. This is not a tough fight. If this is true, he's going to play with Andy Ruiz. He's going to keep on into that jab, and Andy Ruiz is not going to know how to get in. We already know he has no footwork. He has slow, sloppy feet, no footwork whatsoever. And Tyson Fury being 6'9", how he's going to nullify that is simply by just jabbing, jabbing. Okay, he's just as heavy as Ruiz, just taller. Okay, and the reason why, like I said, it's not like he has footwork and can get in. He's look, Andy Ruiz is there to be hit. Reach is too short in height. It's not like he's Mike Tyson. He doesn't have that type of mentality or that type of explosiveness, that footwork to get in. Andy Ruiz, once he gets in, inside he lets his hands go, but he's gonna have problems getting in. this is going to be an easy fight, for one of the easiest fights you've seen. Just as easy it was that he beat Dylan, it's going to be that easy for him to beat Andy Ruiz, man. He's going to make Andy Ruiz throw sloppy punches, wild punches, try to get in, and he's going to just be getting caught. Now, if he has a tough time with him, I don't think this is a taller man having a problem with a shorter fighter. It could be because he has had problems with shorter fighters in the past. Tyson Fury. This is true. He has. He definitely has. Okay? But Andy Ruiz is very predictable, man. He doesn't do much anything, just kind of moves his head a little bit, dip a little bit, stand there, and tries to edge in and get close, and then just start letting his hands go. And it's just, it's just too easy. Okay, and if you guys see the way Anthony Joshua beat him so easily in a rematch, well, again, my point, it's going to be an easy fight for Tyson Fury. And I still don't think that Andy Ruiz should have jumped the line, because he still had a title eliminator against, Wilder. And the same for Wilder. I don't think, I'm not into this line jumping nonsense. But it is what it is. And that's what the word is as of now. If that is the way it actually plays out, we'll have to wait and see. And we know that if Anthony Joshua is fighting in December, it wouldn't be against Wilder. That's what they would be saying. So, however things play out, I don't know. And people was, talking about, like, remember when Deontay went to Dubois, and remember, yeah, see, that's what it was about. Wait a minute, back up. Because just last month, everybody was saying, this month, actually, for Frank Warren, making these rants saying that, Usyk, he ducked Tyson Fury to go and fight Deontay Wilder in Dubois. So which is it? He was in Dubois to cut a deal to fight Anthony Joshua, and if you see the way things played out, why would Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua hide that, when basically they've said several times how they've been trying to sending out contracts to negotiate a fight with Tyson, with Deontay Wilder, and they even admitted that they have gotten in touch with them about getting a potential fight. And even remember the Robert Helenius fight, they said, well, after the Robert Helenius fight, then we can talk, right, business. And what's happened since then? So you haven't heard anything about Wilder versus Anthony Joshua. So we know that that's out. And basically, if Wilder was going to fight against Usyk, again, here's a guy who did nothing but get knocked out and destroyed by Tyson Fury, beat Robert Helenius, and then he's back into a title shot. So no, if anything with Usyk, he should be fighting his mandatory, which is Dubois. And we know he's not fighting Joyce, because Joyce is fighting Zhilei Zhang. See, and this is what I'm saying about how boxing has no structure, man. Because I think Dubois is the IBF mandatory, and Joyce may be the WBO mandatory, something like that. But that's what I'd rather see. And that's how that goes. Fight your mandatories. You're not fighting Fury. This fight's not going on. Okay, cool. And what is Fury talking about right now? See, this is the whole thing. So instead of stirring the pot, trying to come up with all this, it could be this, to where we're just sitting here making a movie in our head, I'm just basically saying, as far as Anthony Joshua fighting in December, and him and Hearn, basically after he said that, he had big news to drop or whatever, well, okay, we'll just have to see what happens. It's not the end of the world, man. This is not going to better my life any kind of way. It's just, if it happens, it's just a good fight that we're going to be a part of. That's all. Get the witness. That's all. But that may be the reason. Because think about it. I don't think he had a bad performance against Franklin. I don't think it was the best performance. And I feel like, if he can just snap out of this whole little phobia he has, man, of whatever, he'd be all right. But he doesn't want to win a fight, and people are saying, oh, it was boring. Oh, he barely won. Or he didn't barely win. He basically won every round of that fight to me. But just saying, he wants to look spectacular. And you're not going to do that by jumping in the ring too soon and just trying to make last-minute adjustments. You understand? He needs to be in a full training camp, And he needs to be able to have Derek James to be able to tap into him to where he can get AJ to mentally absorb everything and understand it. That's what makes it easier. Think about before you started driving. You didn't know how to drive. You was sitting on the passenger side. You're not paying attention to what the driver's supposed to be doing because you're just, there for the ride, right? You had to go and study for your test. You didn't just jump in the car and knew everything. You had to prepare for it. Now you can sit back and how everybody drive like this when they first start driving. Now their faces on, right? Now you can drive either hand, right? One hand on the wheel. Now you can, because you understand it all. You got confidence. You know how to control the car. Does that mean you can jump in the 18-wheeler because you can drive a car though? And if you've been driving an automatic all your life, guess what? You got to get used to driving a stick, right? So you have to be taught these things. It's the same thing. You don't just jump in there and say, oh, okay, yeah, because I don't want people to be talking shit. I'm going to be jumping there right now and I'll fight. No. Stick to your plan. Fine-tune your skills. Let what Derek James and what you have come together and mesh together well, so everything happens the way it's supposed to. Simple. And that's pretty much, all I really have to say about that, because we can't speak about what we don't know. So that may be it. Anyway, talk to me in the comment section. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.